Here it is, guys, the iPhone SE second generation. This is the cheapest iPhone Apple has ever released. It starts at just $399 for the 64GB version, goes up to $449 if you get the 128GB version, and then up to $549 if you get the 256GB version. What's so awesome about this phone is that it comes with the A13 Bionic processor, which is the same one that comes on the iPhone 11 series. So because of that, I'm definitely going to be doing a speed test between the top tier iPhone 11 Pro Max. This is the $1,449 version. And we're going to see how the iPhone SE second generation stacks up to the best that Apple has to offer. For now, I'm just going to do a quick unboxing, and then we'll talk about the differences between the iPhone SE second generation, the iPhone 11, and the iPhone 11 Pro series of smartphones. As you can see, this is the product red version. You can also see that the text on the side is also red. As per the usual, Apple has a little pull tab to take the wrapping off. And let's go ahead and slide this out of the box. You get your documentation. Here's your SIM ejector tool. You're going to need this for later. And of course, you get your Apple stickers. Beneath that, we have the iPhone itself. Now, this is a very deep red. This actually looks really nice in person. I'm going to set this to the side for now, and we're going to take a look at what else is in the box. You get your Lightning connector earpods. You get your USB to Lightning connector, and you get a 5-watt charger. Now, this phone does support 18-watt fast charging, but like I said, this is just a 5-watt charger. So if you want the fast charging, which will give you 50% battery life in just 30 minutes, you will need to pay extra to get at least an 18-watt charger. So I've set the box aside so we can take a closer look at the phone itself. And the first thing you notice when you pick this thing up is that it is super tiny. It's really easy to hold in your hand, and I've been using large form factor phones since the Galaxy Note 4. So this is the size that I'm used to with a smartphone. So dropping down to the SE, this is definitely going to take a little bit of getting used to. In terms of build quality, this is actually a pretty nice phone. This is all aluminum around the sides and glass on the front and back, and it really does feel pretty premium, especially when you think about the price point of $399 for the 64GB version. I'm actually really impressed with how premium this phone feels. And I'm definitely loving this red color. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. Now I want to talk about some of the similarities and differences between the iPhone SE second generation and the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. Let's go ahead and start with the display. So the iPhone SE has a 4.7-inch LCD display with 326 pixels per inch. This is the exact same screen technology as the iPhone 11. The only difference is that the iPhone 11 has a 6.1-inch display. However, even though the iPhone 11 display is larger, it still has the same 326 pixels per inch. So when you compare the iPhone 11 display to the iPhone SE's display, they'll look identical. Now, when you step up to the iPhone 11 Pro, you'll get an OLED display, which has 458 pixels per inch, has a much wider color range, but the screen size does drop a little bit compared to the iPhone 11. The screen size on the iPhone 11 Pro is 5.8 inches. And interestingly enough, the iPhone 11 Pro's form factor is almost identical to the iPhone SE. The iPhone 11 Pro is only marginally taller and marginally wider. The iPhone 11 Pro Max also has that OLED display and bumps the display size up to 6.5 inches. It's also important to note that the OLED displays also get considerably brighter than the LCD displays. You're not going to notice this indoors, but if you're outside on a beach on a sunny day, you may notice that it's a bit more difficult to see the screen on an iPhone SE or iPhone 11. One of the major differences between the iPhone SE and the iPhone 11 series is that the iPhone 11 series uses Face ID, which has a series of sensors in this top bezel here that can unlock your phone securely using your face. You cannot do that on the iPhone SE. You have to use Touch ID to unlock your phone, which is this button here on the bottom, just like the iPhones of yesteryear. Speaking of older features, navigation is obviously considerably different because you now have this home button. So your control panel is again a swipe up from the bottom. That's how it used to be a long time ago. On the newer iPhones, it's a swipe down from the top corner. All of your other gestures are the same as before as well. So if you want to bring the top of the screen down for reachability, just double tap the home button. And on the newer iPhones, you just swipe down from the bottom. Something else I've noticed about using Touch ID is that you can actually unlock the phone a lot faster than you can on, say, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So with Touch ID, you just put your finger on it, push the button, and it just unlocks immediately. With Face ID, you need to unlock your screen and then swipe up. And so it's just a much larger gesture to get into the iPhone 11, 11 Pro Max, anything that uses the Face ID option for unlocking versus just Touch ID. I mean, this could be in your pocket. You can find this button in your pocket, just push that button, and by the time you bring your phone up, you're already unlocked. So that is something I'm definitely going to like about the iPhone SE, is that it's just going to be faster to unlock. In terms of sound quality, the iPhone SE second generation does have stereo speakers. There's one here at the top and one there on the bottom, which is awesome. And right now, I just want to play a short clip for you guys so you can hear what the sound difference is between the iPhone SE and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So, you want to know if Apple's new AirPods Pro are worth the extra cash? Well, for the past 3 months, I've been comparing the AirPods Pro to the Sony WF-1000XM3s, Samsung F-1000XM3s, Samsung's Galaxy Buds, the Jabra Elite 65Ts, and of course, Apple's AirPods Gen 2. So hopefully you guys can hear that in the video, but the iPhone SE speakers definitely sound a bit tinny by comparison to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and they don't get as loud. What you heard was the max volume on both of these. That said, the speakers on the iPhone SE definitely sound much closer to the speakers on the iPhone 11 Pro Max than I was expecting, especially when you look at the price difference between these two phones. Not only does the iPhone SE have stereo speakers, but it also has stereo microphones. So there's a microphone up here, and there's a microphone on the bottom. So when you're recording a video, you do have left and right audio. So if there's a sound coming from the right side of your phone, it's going to actually come through the right speaker when you play that video back. Real quick, if you're getting value out of this video, let me know by dropping a like on the video down below. The iPhone SE does support wireless charging, and as I mentioned earlier, if you have an 18-watt wired charger, you can charge the iPhone SE from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. Water resistance is another place where the iPhone SE and the iPhone 11 series of smartphones diverge. So the iPhone SE has an IP67 water resistance rating, and what that means is it can stay under 1 meter of water for 30 minutes and not have any damage done to it. The iPhone 11 steps it up to an IP68 rating, which means it can survive under 2 meters of water for 30 minutes, and the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have an even higher IP68 rating, where it can survive under 4 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. So basically, the iPhone SE can survive a drop in a pool, but I wouldn't make a habit of intentionally bringing it underwater to take photos. With the iPhone 11, and particularly the 11 Pro, you can actually probably get away with doing that a little bit more often. That said, you should never put your phone in salt water like at a beach. There are plenty of waterproof cases you can get for your smartphones, so if you do want to take some underwater photos, I highly recommend getting one of those cases. In terms of cameras, the iPhone SE only has a 7 megapixel front-facing camera. It has an f2.2 aperture, and it's only capable of 1080p video at 30 frames per second. The iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max, on the other hand, have a 12 megapixel front-facing camera that can do 4K video at 60 frames per second. Fortunately, the iPhone SE does get portrait mode with the front-facing camera. Flipping over to the back, we see a bigger difference in camera setups. So the iPhone SE only has a single 12 megapixel camera. This is a standard angle camera, so it's not going to be super wide, but it's also not going to be super zoomed in. Now, unfortunately, when you start recording video, it does crop in a considerable amount, so it will be more difficult to capture video when you're inside. The iPhone 11 has 2 cameras on the back. It has the standard angle and an ultra wide angle. The ultra wide angle comes in really handy for indoor video, as I just mentioned a second ago. And the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max add a third camera, which is a 2x zoom camera. Fortunately, since this is a 12 megapixel camera, it does support 4K videos at 60 frames per second, and you also still get your 1080p super slow motion recording at 240 frames per second, just like on the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro and Pro Max. Now, I don't know for certain if this 12 megapixel camera is the same as the standard angle 12 megapixel camera on the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro series, so I'm going to have to take some photos with both of these phones and see how they compare. Now, you'll notice that I didn't include the iPhone XR in this comparison, and the reason for that is if you're already going to be spending $600 on an iPhone XR, I honestly just recommend spending an extra $100 to get an iPhone 11. You'll get a faster phone with more features, a better front-facing camera, and an extra rear-facing camera over the iPhone XR. Let me know if you guys think there's a place for the iPhone SE in today's market, and if you're getting one, which color did you guys pick? Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you guys don't miss the speed test between Apple's cheapest phone to their most expensive phone. I have a feeling we're going to get some pretty surprising results. That's it for this tech episode. God bless, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.